Live life as though everything is rigged in your favor. That's a quote that I love and I try to live my life by, and it's by a poet by the name of Rumi, which correlates with a very popular biblical scripture that us Christians love, which is Romans 8:28. And it reads, "For we know that all things, not some things, not most things, not a little bit of things, all things work together for good for those that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose." Now, as a, I like to call myself a realist Christian. In this faith walk, you go through, your trials and tribulations. And when you go through these things, it's kind of hard to hear these quotes and feel empowered and feel positive. But I do believe it takes discipline and it becomes a learned behavior to look at life through a positive lens. You know, for any bad thing that has happened in your life, be it someone walking out of your life, or you getting fired from your job, or you've been unemployed for months and no one's calling you back. You've been putting in applications and sending in your resumes and no one's calling you back, or you're going through a breakup, or you're receiving bad news in the mail, which I've 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 experienced that quite a number of times. It's tough. It's tough to go through these times and you hear these positive quotes and you're like, yeah, yeah, everything's gonna work in my favor. Now you kind of down in the dumps a little bit, like, damn, how am I gonna move on from this, man? This is crazy. But like I said, it takes discipline and it becomes a learned behavior for you to look at everything and say, this is gonna work for me. And I have my moments when I sit back, man, and I have a retrospect look at my life, and I'm like, yo, every situation, every bad situation that I found myself in the past, not only did God bring me through it, He brought me into something better. And there's not one better situation that I was in that I look back and said, man, I wish I was back there. Every situation was better than the other. So in essence, yes, everything really does work in your favor. And I look at those bad situations, and if I'm being honest, I did come out of those situations a better person. Yes, when I was going through them, it sucked. It sucked ass. I didn't like it. I was uncomfortable. I wanted to cling on to what was familiar, but the bad situation happened and it forced me. It forced me to be more creative, to be more outspoken, to be more sociable. It forced me to seek out new things that I wouldn't have otherwise if I had remained in that situation, or if that bad situation hadn't happened. It's like I feel like God looks at us sometimes and He says, "Man, I know I put so much in you, but you're settling right now, and in you settling, you don't see all the things that I've put in you. So I'm gonna shake up your life, okay? And you're gonna feel the earthquake, and in that rumble, you're gonna find things about yourself that you didn't know that you had. And in a weird way, you want to look at all those bad situations that have happened, and you kind of weirdly want to say, thanks. You know, thanks for firing me from that job. It forced me to be creative and I started my own business. Or thanks for not calling me for a job interview, because if you had called me, I would have taken the job and settled for that one and not applied for this other job that eventually did call me, and it's more in tune with who I am and what I do. Or thank you for walking out of my life. You just made room for somebody else to come in and bring me more value. So, like I said, it takes discipline and it becomes a learned behavior that I'm still working on it. I mean, I've gotten a little bit better at it, but it is a learned behavior to try to look at every situation with a positive lens and say, yeah, this is gonna work for my good. This door that just closed, it's gonna work for me.